So hello and welcome to Reduce Stress and Avoid Burnout for High Achieving Women. I'm Dora Gila-Berkowitz, and I'm so excited that you are here. You set aside time to be here with me when you could have been doing a million other things. And I'm a transformation coach and healer. I love helping high achieving women to reduce their stress and their burnout, create more time and energy for themselves so they can be happier and healthier. So today I'm super excited to present this workshop to you. It's going to be an interactive and engaging experience. And I've had such great feedback from my workshops in the past. I'm sure that you're going to get so much out of this. So let's dive in. First, if there was a bunch of you here right now, I'd ask you to all type into the chat box. But I'm just going to unmute you if that's okay. Or you're unmuted already. I'm going to ask you just where you are in the world right now, and if you're a mom, which I know you are, the ages of your kids.
Okay. I am in Clarksville, Tennessee, and I have 6. 2 are 22. We have a 21, 18, and 12. And, I'm sorry, 10, and then 17. So those are all the ones we have right now.
So spanning
yes.
ages. Busy mom, and I know you also own your own business.
Yeah,
you're in the right place. That's great. So I'm going to ask if you're here live or if you're watching the replay to make sure you shut off all your distractions, your Facebook, your email, just shut off everything so you can get the most value from your experience here. And I'm going to ask you to take out a pen and a piece of paper because we're going to do some journaling. And when you connect your hand to the paper, to the pen, there's learning that happens in the brain as opposed to typing on the keyboard. And that's why we're going to use pen and paper. So maybe you're here because you put a lot of pressure on yourself, or you think about how stressed you are throughout the day. Maybe you have a need to dive into your work, even when you know you should be resting. I know that's my story. Maybe you feel a need, you might crash or burn or get sick. Maybe you're here because you can't say no, or you don't take time out for yourself, don't know how to limit your work hours, push yourself so the driven part takes over. Anything that represents being in overdrive and being a high achieving woman. And just going to take a moment to turn off your mic. Oh, you are muted. Okay, that's perfect. And there are going to be times when I'm going to ask if you want to give me some feedback. That's great. So in this workshop, it's going to show you how to take better care of yourself, maintain your energy, not get depleted in your energy as easily, to get out of overdrive, and create time for yourself without the guilt, accomplish your goals with more ease, and to use your time more wisely, and to live a balanced life. Like what we're going to do today is going to touch on all of those things. So why am I doing this? Why am I here? What gives me the right to sit in front of you and offer you this, this workshop? Well, just a little bit about me. This comes out of my own experience, that I was born a high achiever. I was a high achiever in the womb, and in school just was very competitive in academics, in music, in speech and debate. I remember being at age 20, I was a Harvard student, sitting in the car with my mom at a stop sign, and just came out of me. I said, Mom, if I don't learn how to be a type B personality, I'm going to have a heart attack by the age I'm 40, by the time I'm 40. And while I didn't have a heart attack, at the age of 39, I actually was hospitalized with chronic illness related to stress. So even back then, I really had a feeling about what could happen to me, and it did. And so I burnt out from stress. I got sick. Later in my life, I had 3 kids. I was in Israel. I had moved here on a kind of religious pilgrimage. I had high goals, even in spirituality, and I was trying to be the best wife, the best mother, the best, religious person. I mean, I really went overboard in perfectionism and overdrive, and I burnt out, and I realized that I needed a change, a serious turnaround for my life. So I went on a healing journey. I hired a ton of practitioners for different kinds of things, from healing to reflexology and naturopathy and all kinds of things. The irony was that I myself had healed others. I had been a yoga teacher, but I could not take care of myself. And during this healing journey, I discovered the beliefs that I had about myself, and I learned how to turn them around. I learned how to transform my life into someone who was happier and healthier, and could show others the way. And so now I just love to help other women transform their lives so that they can be happier and healthier too. So that's a little bit of my story. So let's dive in to this time we're going to spend together, where I'm going to show you the biggest mistakes that high achieving women make when it comes to achieving their goals and what you can start doing about it right now. I'm going to show you how to release the stress. You're actually going to do this here on the call. Release stress and pressure about having to get everything done. We're going to create a mindset breakthrough to help you get out of overdrive. We're going to do that right on the call. You're going to walk away with simple tools that you can start using right away so that you can create and maintain better balance in your life, and create a simple action plan that resonates with you personally to make these changes. And I'm going to tell you what you need to have in place to be successful. So just give me a nod if any of this is resonating with you. Do you feel like you're in the right place? That's wonderful. Okay, beautiful. So step number one, diving right in, is self-awareness. Now, this might sound so basic, and it is, but you need to start where you are in order to make any changes. You need to know where you are right now. So I'm going to do 2 short writing exercises. So the first one is actually a vision. I'd like to start off with, what is your vision for the future? It has its purpose. So just to jot down, what is one goal that you have for the year for your life or business? It could be anything. Don't filter it out. Anything's possible. So just writing down one goal for the year for your life or business. And many people don't achieve their goals. And when you go through a process like we will, it makes it so much easier. Okay, so you've got your goal, and now I'm going to invite you to write down your challenge when it comes to being a high achieving woman and a mom. What are your biggest challenges when it comes to being a high achieving woman? And for some of you out there, you might not be a mom, maybe you are. What are your biggest challenges as a high achieving woman? And what is the impact that this challenge is having in your life? What kind of impact is it having in your health? What kind of impact is it having in your relationships, in your well-being, different areas of your life? Okay, so just finishing up your biggest challenges and the impact that it's having in your life. And Dorothy, if you would like to share anything, is there anything coming up for you that you'd like to share?
I did one each, one for my business and one for personal.
Okay.
So for me, it's to have consistent income in my business, and then on the personal side, to take better care of myself. The challenge is I focus more on making sure my clients are taken care of, and I spend less time working on my business. And then that's the impact it has for me for the business. And for the personal one is I'll start a workout plan, or I'll start working out, or I'll start eating healthy, and then I don't stay committed to it. So that's the impact that it's having. So yeah, I need to get that all under control and be able to balance it all.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. You know, it is so common and easy for us as women to overgive to other people. In your case, I'm hearing it's to your clients, and it's really part of our nature. We want to give, and I totally get that. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now let's take a look at a little bit behind what is happening and why we're having these challenges. We're going to jump into what I like to call the 4 mindset pitfalls, which is related to our, the way that we think, and it's related to the actions that we're taking in our lives. So if you could just mute yourself one more time, Dorothy. And so, thank you. And so the 4 mindset pitfalls, as they've been kind of grouped together in psychology, are, now any thought could come into one of these categories, and they are: I'm not enough, I'm not worthy or deserving, I'm not important, and I'm unable or I can't. So again, it's I'm not enough, I'm not worthy or deserving, I'm not important, and I'm not able. So we have a combination of all of these kind of mindset pitfalls and limiting beliefs about ourselves. And for today, we're going to focus on I'm not enough, because that's really one of the driving forces behind being a high achiever, being an overdrive, being go, 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 and pushing yourself really hard. So how are these mindset pitfalls, how's this limiting belief of I'm not enough created? So real quick, we're going to go into a little bit of a psychology lesson. So in our early environment, before the age of 7, the number one concern for us is to belong. So what we want to do is attain love, safety, and belonging, because we want to feel secure. We want to feel like we belong in our tribe. So we'll do whatever it takes to achieve love, safety, and belonging. So what we do in order to get this is we adopt the values, the attitudes, and the beliefs of our caregivers in our environment. Usually that's our parents. And so what happens is, because we're trying to maintain and create love, safety, and belonging, we create habits and behaviors that reflect those beliefs of our caregivers, because all we want to do is belong. So that's basically the scenario of what's going on. And we carry these beliefs with us until this very day. So it can be absolutely decades and decades and decades that we're repeating similar kinds of actions and behaviors that come from our limiting beliefs from way back from when we were small. So that's the first thing. The second thing we do is that our biggest drive is to repeat what is familiar. So whatever actions and behaviors that we develop, we just repeat it over and over again through the decades until this point right now. And so you will act in a way that will prove to you to that belief, because that belief is so dear to you, because it's what maintains love, safety, and belonging. Even if you're not in that family environment from years ago, it's still there in your subconscious. So you'll act in a way to prove that belief, and then the results of that action will confirm the belief. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So when it comes to being an overachiever, right? So maybe as a kid, here's one possible scenario just to illustrate. Maybe you were shown that life is hard and it's all about working hard. And if you wanted something, you had to do it yourself. That's what you picked up from your caregivers. And you didn't feel supported. So you developed a belief that you have to work hard and keep working hard. And so, and it was never enough. So for example, I have one client who, when she was small, she would come home with like a 98 on her test, and her father would say to her, well, where are the other 2 points, right? Or you might be disappointed that you yourself didn't get a good grade. Or maybe you've got a lot on your plate and you go, helping others without taking care of yourself, right? So, and so you say to yourself, see, I'm not enough. It's never enough. And you continue in this pattern of stress and frustration. Again, I'm not singling out anybody. This is just one example. So the belief that it's never enough creates the reality of it never being enough. And that reality just confirms the original belief that you had, all in the name of maintaining love, safety, and belonging. So just let me know if any of this is making sense to you. Is this resonating with you?
Makes total sense.
Makes total sense to you, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It's amazing. And I do, introspection on myself. That makes total sense. Okay. So what about this is resonating with you?
It's the part of, not being enough, and then hearing from my caregivers, you have to work hard if you want, what it is that you're striving for. And it's just mainly been that you got to work hard. And I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have to work that hard, but it feels like that. And it does stick with you that if I don't work hard, then I can't get to where I'm trying to go to, or I won't make it to my, my goal, whatever it is that I set. So yeah,
absolutely.
Mostly that.
Beautiful. You're spot on. And I think other people will be also resonating with that too. Mm-hmm. So the biggest mistake that high achieving women make when it comes to accomplishing their goals is thinking that they're not enough. This limited mistaken belief that's just not true, that they're not enough or it's never enough, right? And it's a mistake and they're not aware of it. So the bad news is that most of us are not aware of it. And the bad news is also that these limiting beliefs aren't necessarily going away so easily. The good news is that we know how to transform limiting beliefs. And with practice and accountability, you can do this. So we're going to jump into our next step, which is going to help you out. So this step is one of my favorite things that I love to do for myself and for my clients, and that is a self-acceptance meditation. And because one of the other mistakes that high achieving women make is not taking the time to really be present with where they are and to really accept where they are. First, you have to know where you are, and you have to accept it. A lot of us are in resistance about what's not wrong. I'm not good enough, and I'm resisting that as well. And also believing that they cannot change and they cannot transform their lives. Maybe they don't have the tools. So we're going to do a step here, which is about giving yourself compassion. Some people like to think of unconditional love, self-forgiveness, self-acceptance, all of those. Whatever word that comes up for you is totally great. It's a place of non-judgmental self-awareness. If you could take like a 50,000-foot perspective, a bird's eye view of yourself, right? Without judgment, just observing what's happening with you. So we're going to dive into that now. One more thing, it's also about connecting with your spiritual self, and this is part of the work that I do, and that can come in many forms for different people. In the case of for this workshop that I'm working with you, I like to refer to my spiritual connection as with my higher power as the divine or the creator. So that's the point of view that I'm coming from. So in this exercise, it's going to help you release emotional blocks that are connected to your limiting beliefs. So beliefs in the mind are connected to our emotions. And now that you're aware more about what your beliefs are, we can start releasing emotional blocks that are connected to those beliefs. So those emotions could be frustration or resentment or anger or maybe guilt or fear. Any negative emotion is real, and we're going to release those. And what's beautiful about this exercise is also it helps you create more time for yourself, which is I know what we all want, because emotional blocks take up a lot of energy, and whatever takes up our energy takes up our time. So that's another reason I'm excited to present this exercise to you. So this is a co-creative process with your higher power, with your spiritual self that is designed to start breaking through those blocks. So I'm going to invite you to get real comfortable right now. And as you're getting comfortable, I'm going to have you just take a sneak peek again at that challenge, and the impact of those challenges is just so you can have that top of mind, because we're going to need to know that for this exercise. So you're looking at what your challenges are, the impact. Got that? Yep. Okay, great. So I'm going to invite you just to get comfortable and close your eyes, keeping the challenge and the impact of that challenge in mind. And really feel that challenge and where you are with that, and to feel the impact that is having in your life. Be really present with that feeling. Just observe yourself without any judgment. And notice what emotion you are feeling. You know, maybe you can name that emotion. So just notice if you can name the emotion you're feeling. If you can't, that's okay too. It might be just a sense of discomfort. So maybe you're feeling a despair or a frustration, or maybe it's anxiety, or maybe it's something else. And I'm going to invite you to take another step and to feel where in your body you are feeling this emotion. So this emotion is actually trapped in the body somewhere. See if you can locate where it is. Just notice with compassion for yourself, just observing with non-judgment. So maybe you're feeling it in your throat or in your head somewhere. Maybe it's in your chest or in your gut or in your back or in your legs. It could be anywhere, so just notice. Be there. Be present with your body. Great. So the next step is I invite you to become aware of your breath. Now, in some traditions, there's an awareness that the breath comes from the divine. And we all know that the breath brings with it oxygen. So inviting the breath with its life-sustaining energy, just allowing this breath in and out of the nostrils. Focusing your attention on the breath. Notice the temperature of the air that you're breathing. Noticing if it's easy or difficult to breathe, again without judgment. And allowing the breath to travel around the body. Allow it to be taken to those places of discomfort. Allowing the breath to move through you. And notice how you are being present with yourself as you breathe, with self-acceptance and compassion or unconditional love for yourself. Allowing the breath to move through the body. And if it feels right for you to consider imagining your higher power being here for you, supporting you, embracing you with unconditional love. Deepening that sense of presence and self-acceptance. And just notice what's happening for you at this moment. We're going to take a few more moments just to be in this supportive space with the breath, with your spiritual self. Observing what's happening. And in a few moments, we're going to come back into the space together. So very slowly, you can exhale out through your mouth. And you can tap your feet on the floor to become just a little more present with the space around you. You can tap your fingers, your toes. And whenever it's good for you to open your eyes and come back into this shared space together.
That was amazing. I feel so much calmer.
Yeah.
So much, it's like, I can't even describe what it feels like, but it's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So, could I invite you to speak a little more about that journey that you took from, inside, from feeling the discomfort to that place of calm, what that was like for you?
Yeah, it was like, you were asking us to kind of figure out where in our body that we were feeling it. And it's mostly always in my head. Because I know if I write stuff down, then I'm okay. But when I don't, I feel like I'm very overwhelmed. And it's just so frustrating to be overwhelmed like that. So being able to recognize where it was and then started to calm myself down. And in a sense of knowing that it's okay to know where I'm at right now. And it's okay to be frustrated, but now I need to calm it down a minute so that way my brain can relax and then everything will fall into place. So it was just that overwhelmed to starting to relax to now I'm at ease. And I'm much, just at ease.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for
Awesome.
sharing that. Yeah, it's really miraculous how just a focused few minutes can really transform your physiology, your psychology, the mental level, emotional level, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
awesome.
it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Immediate feeling, immediate relaxation. Yeah.
Yes, works pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I love that quick breakthrough. I really do.
Awesome.
Okay, great. So when you clear your emotional blocks, right, and you do this on a regular basis, you really do start using your time more wisely, getting stuff done more in a more way of ease, because you don't have that drain from the emotions taking up all that energy. Which leads us to the next step, which is also transformational. So you can see how we're just building one step after another. And this step is all about creating. It's all about creating a new mindset, right? We want to leave that old one behind. Like, we don't want that one anymore. We want to create a new one. So now you have this open space. There's room for the new to go in. So I'm going to show you how to create your own mindset breakthrough at any time. And this is a key to accomplishing your goals with more ease. So there are basically 3 rules that we use when we're creating a mindset. And if you're familiar with affirmations, you'll be familiar with these rules. So the first rule is that it needs to be in the first person, right? So you're talking about I and me. It's all about you, right? So using the words I or me. So instead of saying, life is so relaxing, that doesn't include you. So life is going to get a nice mindset here. What you want to do is write I. So I am relaxed, or I accept myself as I am, or whatever feels right for you in the first person. You could also bring in your higher power. You could say the divine helps me to feel relaxed. The divine is helping me be relaxed, right? That's all about yourself. So that's the first thing. The second rule is all about being in the present tense and not in the future. A lot of people make the mistake. They'll create this mindset of something that's going to happen in the future, like I'm going to make $1 million. But when you say I am going to do it or I will do it, it keeps pushing it off into the future. So we want to bring it back into the present. So instead of saying, I will be enough or something like that, it's I am enough. And you can feel that power of presence when you put it in the present tense. And the third rule is to put it in the positive, right? Instead of saying, I'm not stressed, like, oh my gosh, that is so stressful. So instead, a mindset could be, I am calm, or I am fulfilled. Okay? So the first person, I or me, it's in the present tense, and it is positive. So those are the 3 rules. And I'm going to give you some time now to create a new mindset, and then we're going to check in on it. So I always love to keep mindsets short and sweet so that they're easily memorable. And, you can take them on the go and say them whenever you want to. So let's take some time now to create your mindset, and then we'll check in. Okay, got one?
Yep, I got
Let's hear
one.
it.
The one in the first person is I am stress-free. I love that one. And the other one is I am relaxed.
Okay, I am stress-free and I'm relaxed. So are you ready to check in on these?
Yep.
Okay, so I already heard you say I am stress-free feels good for you. So let's move to the next one.
All right.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to invite, and this is right so that we can all learn how to check in. So I'm going to invite you to say it 3 times out loud and check in with your gut and to see if it feels expansive. If it does, then it's the right mindset for you to, to continue with. And if it feels contracted, it needs some tweaking. Okay. So say it out loud 3 times, checking in with your gut.
I am stress-free. I am stress-free. I am stress-free. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And the other one?
I am relaxed. All right. I am relaxed. I am relaxed. I am relaxed. That actually felt pretty good because then I could feel my shoulders just start to even get in that relaxed mode.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's great. So that's a perfect example of how these mindsets can really resonate with you. And for someone that it's not resonating for you, let's say you created the mindset of, I'm relaxed and it didn't feel right. And that could happen for a couple of reasons. And really the main reason is because sometimes when we want to create something, still is that resistance of a limited belief, back there. And so we're saying, I'm relaxed, but in the back of the mind, it's like, no, you're not. Kind of hard to believe that, right?
Yeah.
So that can happen too. And so in that case, it just needs a little bit of tweaking, right? So if you're listening to the replay and you thought you had perfect mindset and it's not feeling quite right, try some other words, try other ways of saying it. If it's too long, make it shorter. If you're using one word, try a synonym. Sometimes the words are very familiar, very similar, but there's one word that just is more spot on for you than another. And just keep tweaking it until it feels right. And I'm always here if you want to reach out for some help. It's like my favorite thing to do, tweaking mindsets. Okay, and I just want to give a little bit of a key now, a kind of like a bonus tip here. And that is, even when, let's say, you're in a stressed out situation and your mindset just isn't working, it's not coming up, because we can get resistance and our mindset could be like right there for us and we feel like we can't even say it. Just the idea that acknowledgement, acceptance, appreciation for where you are right now, right? As Dorothy, as you said a minute ago, just like recognizing where you're at. That in itself is a breakthrough. So, say your mindset, and even if your mindset doesn't work, just, take a breath and breathe in appreciation for yourself. So you'll want to use your mindset first thing in the morning to kind of program your brain for the day, and the last thing at night to program your subconscious for sleep. And, feel free to post it around where you'll see it, or you can wear like a bracelet to remind you wherever you might see it, wherever it might feel right for you. Say it whenever you need it, but at least in the morning and at night to get started until it, gets in there. Okay. So that was step 3. And so after you know your limiting belief, practice self-acceptance, you created your mindset, now we're ready to take action. Now you're ready to take action. So a lot of women make the mistake of deciding what to do and like jumping to do it, New Year's resolutions, or like, I'm going to do this in my business, before they're really ready. And these 3 steps that I've shown you are a way to prepare yourself for doing that. And that's why I love them so much. So now what we're going to do is to revisit that goal that you set for yourself for life, for business, or both, and to go and revisit that, take a look at that, and now you're set up to create a simple action plan that resonates with you, right? Only you know what that plan should be, right? It has to resonate with you. And when you do this, when you create your simple action plan from this place, you can take better care of yourself, and you can avoid burning out. You can move forward with your goals without getting depleted because you have that whole system set up that we just created. Okay, so now that you have these tools to reduce your stress, I'm going to invite you to write down 1, 2, or 3 steps that you need to take now, moving forward towards that goal. So you have your goal. What are the first or second or third, the first 3 steps that you need to take to achieve that goal? Okay, so when you know your limiting belief and you practice self-acceptance and you create your mindset, you can create your action plan. And when you use all of these steps, you can live a more balanced life, be more consistent in your energy and not get depleted. I'd love to invite you, Dorothy, if you want to share what your action steps are going to be now that you're all set to take them.
I don't mind. One is planning each day. At least choosing 2 to 3 things that I would like to get done, and if I don't get it done, it's okay. I'll just move it to the next day at the top and work my way for the next 2-3 tasks that I like to get done. Choose a self-care day, and then implement the steps you just gave us for the mindset, and really try to do that and see how that works, and just keep that going every day.
Beautiful. That sounds like a great plan. Good.
Awesome.
Okay, so here's a bonus step for if you're here live or listening on replay. So bonus step is what you need to have in place to not fall back into overdrive. The bonus step is pretty simple. It's regular practice, right? You have the tools and accountability. So I encourage you to recognize your limiting beliefs, to practice the emotional release exercise, to keep creating mindsets as they're needed and practicing them, and keep creating the next steps that you need to take for your goals. And here's a little tip. In a couple of days, I'm going to send you something in your inbox that's going to be perfect for you for 2 reasons, especially if you're excited about anything that you've discovered here today, whether you're here live or on the replay, and especially if it's hard for you to reach out to ask for help, because I'm just going to send it to you in your inbox, and be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that and take a look at that. So, Dorothy, what was the most helpful thing from this past hour or so that we've spent together? What are you going to take away into your week from this workshop?
My takeaway was the mindset exercise that we did. That was really, really helpful. Even before we got on the call, I was a little bit stressful and feeling like overwhelmed because I'm looking at my board and I'm looking at my time and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get all this done? So I was very, very overwhelmed with that. But doing that exercise actually helped me get relaxed and just pretty much be able to put things in perspective. And like I said, it's okay if I don't get everything done. It's not the end of the world. Even that's with, regular business or even at home. It's not the end of the world. Do what I can do. And that I can't, it will be okay. It'll be there tomorrow. So
that is so true. And if there's one thing, absolutely one thing you can take from today is you are okay. You are enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
You started off with that limiting belief. You're not, that I'm not enough. You so are. Yeah. And not only that, you are more than enough because you're created by the divine. That's what I love to remind my clients, that you are already enough. Created here for a purpose. Yeah. So, okay. So I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for taking the time to share with me what I love doing best, keep your eyes peeled for the email in a couple of days. And I look forward to seeing you at the next workshop if you choose.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to make sure I clear my schedule because I know it's going to be awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome,
Okay.
awesome.
Thanks, Dorothy. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Deborah.
Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.